Okay, I don't think anyone saw that. Okay, let's move on with part 3 of my countdown of close calls that may or may not have been that close. I'm in Aptos, California, looking for this invasion of white sharks that supposedly is here. Still haven't seen them, and looks like I'm going to finish my countdown before I do see one. Once again, I'm asking for your help. I want your comments and your notes on the footage that you see and why you think it was or wasn't a close call. Number 1, I'm going to show a quick bit of Ocean Ramsey's footage, or I should say Juan's footage. We've all seen them do pretty amazing stuff regardless of our opinions on it. And today I'm going to show one that I was previously unaware of until they released it like a month ago. Pretty crazy stuff. I have plenty of my own footage of white sharks getting the bait, and let me tell you, that is a humbling experience to have happen right in front of your face. Talk about a reminder of how fragile we are. As much of a shark advocate as I am, and as much as I desire to be cageless as much as possible, there are times when you're pretty thankful for the cage. Yeah, that happened. That's not from a movie. Look at the size of that mouth. Anyway, so this footage looks pretty typical at first. It's obviously Guadalupe, and there's a white shark getting the bait. But then you have someone else in the footage, in the water, when this is happening. Oh man, that's next level right there. If anyone knows how to handle this situation, it's her. She has more hours in the water than all other shark experts on the planet combined, but that does not mean that you can't vote for this as a close call. What do you think? Close call or not?
Number 2.
Okay, let's jump to French Polynesia. I was there in 2015. It's a special place. I highly recommend it. I got to enjoy several species of shark and other marine life. The gray reef sharks that like to ride the current are a highlight, and this is what they look like by day. Very calm. You can just swim right in there amongst them, or sit back like I did and watch them go by all day long. It's mesmerizing. Doesn't even look real, does it? But at night, things change. The dive master there shared this footage with me, which shows gray reef sharks hunting at night, searching amongst the coral, trying to turn out some fish that are hiding from the sharks. The cameraman ends up getting a face full of shark because all the sharks competing for the little fish that they were chasing end up rocketing up towards the surface and hit the cameraman. But the poor fish, I mean, it could not escape. I feel like doing a Tosh.0. Let's look at what went wrong in this week's video breakdown. I mean, I'm not really sad. The sharks have to eat, and this is what they do, but you feel frustrated for the fish because it seems like there's nothing it can do. All right, I'm going to break it down frame by frame. Here at the beginning, I don't see any fish. I don't see any fish. The sharks obviously are aware of something, and you feel like the odds are stacked against the fish because, you know, sharks have like 18,000 senses. And then humans are coming along and poking underneath the reefs with sticks and shining lights into places, so even if the fish did find a good hiding place, well, that's out the window. I'm going to break down how hard survival is in the wild by showing this video. Okay, while all these sharks are mercilessly chasing down a fish over here that I can't even see, but obviously one catches it. You can see he kind of races off from the other ones with a mouthful. Well, even while that's happening, this little fish is making a way over here. Let me reverse that. You're not going to see this on your iPhone or maybe not even your iPad. You need to blow this up, and I was proud of myself for even seeing this. Fish number 2 actually had a good hiding place, and while the other sharks were pursuing fish number 1, a couple of sharks accidentally scared fish number 2 out of his hiding place. I mean, there is nowhere to hide. So here's fish number 2. He gave up his position after seeing his buddy get munched right in front of him, and now the sharks are alert to his presence. The cameraman loses the action for a minute, but every shark in the ocean is now chasing fish number 2, so he figures it out and pans back. The fish has actually managed to find a hiding spot again. He's so skilled that our eyes didn't see it happen. But it doesn't matter. That's how brutal it is out there. Watch this. That shark's pectoral fin accidentally dislodges the fish and starts the whole thing over again. And remember, we're watching this in slow-mo. Boom. The moment of death. A random pectoral fin. The fish moves and the shark says, "I sense the hell out of that." Somehow one shark glides over the top of the fleeing fish while another shark continues the pursuit. The fish does a nifty move, kind of gets away for a second, but Then the entire rest of the ocean moves in to ruin his chances. Brutal. Did you see how fast that fish was? Did you see that escape? That was amazing. And it just didn't matter. Eventually we pan over to the left where the action is, where this fish's struggle finally comes to an end. The poor thing, I mean, give it props. Even here, the fish has escaped again and is hiding under coral, but one of about 5 trillion sharks sticks his nose under there and chases him out, and another shark tracks him down and finally ends the struggle. As the opportunists race towards the surface, they end up hitting the cameraman, but by now you've guessed it, this was not a close call for the cameraman. It was more than a close call for the fish. It was last call. Those chunks of white flying around are not flesh. That is actually coral reef. Some of the sharks that were underneath the coral and were racing to get a piece of the dead fish actually just ripped right through the coral that they were underneath in the effort to get to the scraps. These animals made more effort to survive in this video than every human I know has done their entire lives. Man, we have it easy. And I pointed it out in other videos, so go back and watch those if you haven't. But watch, even in the midst of trying to survive, and the other sharks are flying in trying to get a piece of that fish, they don't mess each other up. Look at this shark come in at the side of that shark's face. He does not bite his face. He does not bite his mouth. He does not mess that shark up in order to get that fish away from him. That is incredible. Explains why the shark is in such a hurry to get the fish down the hatch, huh? And the human, the cameraman, can be sitting in the middle of that life and death struggle and still not be bitten. I may be a shark-hugging hippie, but you gotta give them some credit for that.
Number 3.
Okay, let's jump to the Bahamas. This is either my first or second time out with Jim Abernathy looking for tiger sharks. And the reason this one made the list is, well, I call this when sharks reminded me that they were sharks.
Most of the time that you're down there, the sharks are almost in a chill mode. They're kind of on cruise control. They're swimming around, but, you know, it's in a very calm state, like they're just kind of waiting for something to happen. They're conserving energy, moving around effortlessly and gracefully in that mesmerizing way that they do. But every now and then, they turn it on. What happened in this scenario is that I was walking back to the ascent line because I was low on air, and that's typical. That's how they instruct you on these dives. Just when you're ready to go up, go ahead and go up. But the reason I bring it up is because I was alone, and I was almost to the ascent line when some sharks killed something. Like they actually killed a live fish, and that changed everything. The sharks went from chill mode to they all sped up. They were all racing around trying to track down the signals of death that the struggling fish had given off, and the signals from the smell of the fresh blood in the water. And so they were all trying to get a piece of the action, and a lot of them were able to locate the shark that had killed the fish and were trying to get pieces of it. But others, you know, were cruising around, and there I was all by myself next to these sharks, and they came over to see, you know, if I was the source of that signal. You can see that I caught the action out of the corner of my eye and barely got the camera on as I saw these sharks racing toward me. Look how much faster they were going than in the previous footage. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's sharks being sharks. But, you know, if you don't know how to react to that, of course, that could be a rather uncomfortable situation. So these sharks came in, and I just kept turning and facing them and making sure that they knew that, no, I was not the source of the signal of food that they were getting a whiff of. You can see that after they got a look and were satisfied, they swam off. Others were still coming in as some were leaving. But, you know, they didn't stay and just insist upon trying to bite me. They just came in for a look, investigated, and no, I was not what they were looking for. Simple as that. This is actually cool footage, so let's take a moment to analyze it a little bit further. I like this one. Watch his eye. You know, don't tell me that he doesn't have his eye on me. Just watch that eye movement as he comes around. And what a gorgeous eye. What a gorgeous animal. Then he investigates my fin. I don't know why my fin was on the ground, but that's not the point. And, you know, I dare say he was disappointed. He came in looking for some food, he did not find it, and he left. Now you understand the conundrum of filming sharks. They don't want anything to do with us, so you're lucky when you get them to come in close, or you bait them to come in close. So when you're alone, you're ascending, you're a little bit closer to the surface, or you're surrounded by open water, and the behavior of the sharks has changed, you feel a little more vulnerable. But was I ever in danger? Was this a close call? What do you think? And that's going to do it for the countdown. It may not have been scary, but I hope it was enlightening. Let me know if there's anything you learned from it, and let me know what you would like to see me make a video of in the future.